Hello everyone, I hope your day is going well and welcome to this episode of Cranbusher's Guide. We've spent a long time going over puppet making, preparation, and equipment in order to ready yourself for stop motion. And now the day has finally come. It's time to learn some actual freaking animation. Are you ready? Okay, let's get started. So for this video, we're going to be going over moving this ball from right to left. Now, in order to do that— Whoa, no. Hold on. Shut up for a second. Is this what you're going to teach us? Well, yes. No, you can't be serious. Look, we've been waiting for months. It's been months since your last guide video, and you want to know how to, animate something? And you're giving us a freaking ball? Well, if you'd let me explain for a moment. We want to know how to make arms and legs move and how to express emotion. What about that? What about my face, huh? What about the eyes and the mouth? How do I sync up words so I can go look, goo-goo-boo-boo, if you could calm down. How do you animate this? Or what about this? Or even this for some reason? A stupid ball moving across the screen isn't gonna help in the slightest. If you just be quiet for a moment and let me get to the rest of the video, then you'd see that it actually will help a lot in the future, so either be patient or you get nothing. Fine. Just get on with it. Thank you. Anyway, today we'll be focusing on moving this ball right to left, maybe a few other things. Pretty simple, right? Okay, so first of all, we've got our camera set up and in focus, connected up to Dragon Frame or whatever software you may or may not be using, and we're gonna make sure the frame rate is set to 24 FPS. Anyone remember how to do that? Yep. Right there. So first we'll need a certain time frame to determine how long it'll take the ball to move to its destination. The more frames in this time frame, the longer the action will take and the slower the ball will move, and the opposite will take place the fewer frames there are. I'm just gonna have it take 12 frames, so half a second. You can mess around with your own time frame if you want things to move faster or slower. Now we just move the ball slowly and take a picture each time for 12 frames until the ball is where we want it to be, right? Alright, now let's play it back and see how that looks. I guess that's fine, but it looks kind of boring. And nothing in the real world really moves like this, it's just kind of like... So it's one thing to make something move in stop motion, but it's another thing to have it move believably. If you saw something move like this in the real world, you might be a bit concerned. Things just don't move around monotonously, they tend to flow in a way that makes sense. This doesn't necessarily mean that an animation has to be 100% realistic, as certain movements can be exaggerated, but realistic movement is definitely a good reference point. Let's bring this ball back to its first position and move it again within 12 frames. And this time, instead of moving the ball the same length each frame, we'll slowly move it farther each time until it gets to the middle of the action, then bring the movements closer together until the ball reaches its destination. You'll notice that the ball seems like it's now in control of itself, slowly gaining momentum until slowing to a stop, instead of robotically shifting to a new position. This feels a lot more natural and generally more pleasing to look at. Well, at least I think so. Look, it's so pretty. It's going, whoa, now it's over there. Now it's going back, whoa, so okay, anyway. But let's say, what if the ball had to suddenly stop in its tracks, like it forgot whether or not it left its little ball stove on? You might think that the ball would just stop dead since it's immediately not going anywhere anymore, when actually it would continue for a split instance and then pull itself back quickly, maybe wing-link for a little bit in place, I don't know. Whatever you want to call it, little shimmy-sham. Okay, think about when you're walking along and suddenly you stop. Your feet might stay still, but the rest of you tends to keep going for a little bit. This happens even more drastically when you apply the brakes when you drive. You don't just stay upright, you're pulled forward, which for the ball would look something like this. It's a little ball. So instead of slowing to a stop, the ball immediately stops moving, but the momentum carries it just a little further. Experiment with this to see what you think looks best. There are plenty more variations of the ball moving from right to left. It could be hit by something, causing it to immediately start moving, then slow to a stop, or it could be hit by something and then come to a halt, its weight pulling it forward for just a little bit longer. There's no such thing as just moving a ball from right to left, and I haven't even gone into making the ball feel heavier or lighter just with animation. Well, now that that's all out of the way, let's get on to something a little more complex. Stay with me, everybody. So we've gone over moving one solid round object in a direction, now let's go over some wiggle physics. As you can see, we've got this thing here where the base is what's moving and then the top part is attached to it, but it's free moving. That's in quotes because, well, it's only gonna look like it's free moving because you still gotta touch it, Jeremy. We're going to animate this object like the speed up, slow down ball from before, except now we've got this free moving part that's going to experience drag. Like how your body wants to keep moving forward when you brake in a car, the free-moving part of the object wants to stay in the same place. So once the object starts picking up speed, the top will stay back to a certain point, and then return to a straight position when the object stops moving. A similar thing happens if we animate the object like we did when the ball comes to a halt, except the top will want to continue forward, and this will be pulled back since it can't keep moving forward, and therefore will sort of just end up wiggling for a little bit. Once again, play around with different movements to see how things look and what looks best to you. Certain things make objects look heavier or lighter, looser or stiffer. And it's up to you to figure those things out because you really need to get a feel for it on your own. If you really want to do stop motion, you can't just do everything someone tells you on the internet and nothing more. Be creative, develop your own style. If you're still confused as to how any of what I went over today helps with animating one of these bad boys, let's just take a look at something real quick. So remember, we've pretty much got 4 basic movements. We've got speed up, slow down, drag, and then wiggle. Got it? Okay, now take a gander at this. How do you animate this? What about this? Or even this for some reason? A stupid ball moving across the screen isn't gonna help in the slightest! Okay, that should have cleared everything up. Now you're all ready to animate. Woohoo! Just kidding. I know that was pretty much impossible to keep track of, but that wasn't the point. The point is that any sort of action can be split down into the most basic movements, just all happening in tandem with each other at various times and to various degrees. Now obviously they're not exact copies of each small action, but the same basic principles apply, and sure it may look like a lot to keep track of while animating. Well, because it kinda is. But trust me, when you're actually animating and taking things super slowly, as any animator is one to do oftentimes, it won't seem as daunting. We'll possibly get into more detail with that sort of thing in a future episode, along with lip sync, the dreaded walk cycle, and other stuff. Feel free to leave any questions you may have on how to do certain things in the comments if you'd like to see a future episode covering it. This is only the beginning. Thanks for watching and take care. Bye bye!